caption of the session today says top performing Christian professionals. As Christian professionals, we understand that we are called by grace to serve with integrity, serve with compassion, and serve, of course, with purpose. And in the course of doing all of this, many a times we get to, get stressed. And today we are coming together to come and demystify and better understand how we can manage our energy. I mean, how we can conserve our energy, fulfill our purpose, and then maintain our faith within the professional space and still excel in a way that is, at the zenith of it. And that is why we are putting together this panel session today. And so, therefore, ladies and gentlemen, brothers and sisters, okay, so that you would remember that you're still brothers and sisters. And so, ladies and gentlemen, brothers and sisters, please once again put your hands together as we welcome ourselves to the panel session today with the title Avoiding Burnout as Top Performing Christian Professionals. And to this point, we will be welcoming, and please, when we start welcoming, we have such robust panelists that will be coming to share from their own experience, many of whom have actually gone through burnout and they've emerged excellently. And they will be bringing their expertise, they will be bringing their insightful understanding to help each and every one of us learn and navigate this phase. And I pray that God will use their experiences, their insights, and their stories to inspire us and help us become better top-performing Christian professionals in Jesus' name. All right, to this point, we'll be making welcome our panelists. Okay, don't worry. You will strike the code very well.
Good morning, everyone. What is happening? That answer is code. Good morning, everyone. Okay, VJW seems to be the only one that is happy in church today. Good morning, everyone. All right, that sounds better. All right, my name is Bukola Olayoye, and with me together we have
Joseph Obayemi.
All right, so we'll move on to introduce our panelists. Please, I want to appeal to us when we're introducing our panelists. We need you to help us give them a wonderful ovation to bring them to the stage. All right, we'll start with the first person on our list today, Chinedu Osae. Is that how best you can clap? Please come up. You're welcome to the stage, sir. All right, I'll just quickly read his profile. Chinedu Osae is a lawyer with over 17 years of experience in legal practice in the private sector, with just 1 year stint in public sector. His professional career transactions, as well as company secretary and company governance functions. He then worked for about 10 years with Consolidated Hallmark Insurance PLC, where he provided close to one-stop shop legal services. Chinedu joined BUA Group in December 2020 and has been providing corporate governance cum sectoral services, litigation portfolio management, regulatory compliance, corporate commercial, and other related legal services to BAU Group and its subsidiaries. Chinedu Osae is a member of the Nigeria Bar Association and an associate member of the Institute of Chartered Secretaries and Administrators of Nigeria and the Society for Corporate Governance. Once again, welcome with me, Chinedu Osae.
Please put your hands together. 17 years of experience is no joke, right? Okay, our next panelist is a seasoned professional with over 5 years of experience in audit and assurance across diverse industry. Shola has grown into a talent of skills in financial matters. Over the years, she has put in the hard work, tenacity, and exceptional teamwork required to excel in the fast-paced Big Four. Okay, as a senior consultant in Deloitte, accruing accolades beyond expectation. Valuable contributions include, but not limited to, helping organizations identify risk, assess controls, give recommendations and insights to improve the internal controls employed to mitigate risk, and also help clients maintain compliance and regulatory requirements to manage financial and operational risk. With a strong drive for excellence and continuous self-improvement, Shola seeks to actively contribute towards organizational goals and to put in creative and innovative ideas that will bring about growth and sustainability while enjoying job satisfaction. She is a purpose-driven, versatile in nature, and embraces change, and also has impeccable communication, analytical, and interpersonal skill. Ladies and gentlemen, brothers and sisters, please, with a beautiful round of applause, make welcome Oluwashola Uje. Please make welcome now. I'll keep clapping until she takes a seat. You see the finesse, you see the elegance. Oh, thank you very much. All right, to the next panelist.
All right, to the next panelist. We have the third panelist, Ayomide Atonsheyi. Ayomide has over 7 years' experience in the mining industry. He's currently the project superintendent for Motimoshe Metals, where he provides technical support in business planning, mining engineering and production, and project review for economic and investment decisions. He also serves as the Global Operation Director for AfriMine, based in Johannesburg, South Africa, a non-for-profit initiative dedicated to showcasing the beauty of the mining and mineral-related industry and building a global community for mining young professionals. He began his professional career as an intern mining engineer at Dangote Limestone Mines, Ibeshe Mines, where he developed the qualities and relevant experience for mining operations, such as coordinating and managing mine development, coordinating production activities, overseeing the health and safety in mine, and effective communication skills. Ayomide has a B.Eng in mining engineering from the Federal University of Technology, Akure, and an MBA and an MBA from Contic School of Business and Technology, Washington, D.C. Ladies and gentlemen, make welcome with me, Ayomide.
Please put your hands together. We have such a robust panelist today. Okay. You're welcome, sir. Thank you very much.
Thank you, our panel members. You're welcome once again. I hope we are all prepared for today. And are we prepared with our questions? Oh, my audience are not having. All right.
I guess some of them are still trying to understand, okay, what really is burnout, and they would want to get insight into it.
Okay, that works. All right, so since our audience are trying to understand what the topic is all about, I think our panel members will be ready to help us share what they think. What do you think burnout is, and why do you think it's an important discourse for us as Christian professionals? So I'll start with you, sir.
Me?
Yeah.
I'm shy. Okay, so I will explain with something that happened to me practically. Okay, you recall when my profile was being read, I worked for about 10 years in an insurance company, and during those years, for about 6 of those years, at least for every three months, there's something I experience. I bleed from the nose. It happened every 3 months. And I noticed that it happens whenever I've been engaged in prolonged stress. Back to back to back to back to back. And when it's about happening, I will know. I'll feel that something is coming down from my nose, and then I'll see blood coming from my nose. That happened, so it was so bad that it happened on the day we were having one of our board committees. And I had to it was then it dawned on me that I had to take care of myself. I had to visit, at the hospital. They conducted series of tests, and I did an operation, a minor operation, really. But even at that, it still continued until I remember my wife used to tell me, "It's not your father's work." Yeah, she used to say, "It's not your father's work." And eventually, when my father died, and I told her, "Well, since my father has died now, I now understand it's not my father's work." And I learned how to manage, myself. So for me, burnout, is uh, that psychological, physical disorder, that happens to you when you've been engaged in a prolonged time of stress that results into fatigue, makes you very much irritable. Often, at times, you may want to express it by way of anger, and at times you may be easily susceptible, to breaking down as a result of the burnout. So that is the much I can say from a personal point of view. Thank you so much.
Please put your hands together for that practical insight into what burnout is. So I think we should have our next panelist.
All right, praise the Lord, everyone.
Hallelujah.
So for me, I'll try to also be as practical as possible. Um, Burnout is a state of complete exhaustion, physically, mentally, emotionally. So you are practically tired, absolutely tired, and this can be caused from accumulated stress. So I'll be practical. I work in a big four environment, and it demands a lot from you. It's very engaging. You work long hours. You have to put in a lot, and I'll be very vulnerable at this point, right? Because I'm a workaholic. So first of all, I thank God for the man God has blessed me with,
Oh.
because he's a perfect blend, and I'll explain further. I'm someone that can work really, really late because I have a lot of deliverables. I can say you need to do A, B, C. You have a million and one things on your to-do plate, like to-do list, and you're looking for how to do everything because I always want to make sure that I'm also a perfectionist. Another vulnerable, point for me, and so the pressure to deliver and also excel in my deliverables is there. So you can see me, I've worked, let's say, from 9 to 10, 11, 12, 1. I'm still working, working, working. And this young man can say, you know what, drop this laptop. You can continue another day. So burnout is a state of exhaustion. You're absolutely tired, and it can be as a result of accumulated stress. And another thing that causes burnout is you're working in a high pressure environment, like I've said. You have a lot to do. For example, let me now say you are a team leader. Because you're a perfectionist in quotes, and you always want to apply a touch of excellence in everything you do, you find it very difficult to delegate. Because if I delegate to A, if I delegate to B, they may not really do it as much as I want to. I want you to dot every I. I want you to cross every T. So it's very almost impossible for someone to do it exactly to your taste. So over time, I've gotten to understand that, Shola, you have to calm down. Now, this also being vulnerable. I've experienced burnout to the point that I'm almost slipping into depression because you're working, you're working. Some days you're like, you don't know what to do, you're just crying. This is us being vulnerable. I can come and just say, do this, do that, and I'm very theoretical and everybody's happy. But we also need to be practical. If you're not careful, if you don't know when to pump the brakes, you'll break down. And over time, I'm learning. I won't say I'm 100% there yet, but I can see that compared to where I started from, I have made massive progress. Now I know when to say, Shola, okay, drop this laptop. You can continue on that day. And I'm married. Having to juggle work from a demanding environment, feel a lot of pressure, you have a lot of deliverables, and also manage your home front. You have to know where to balance. And I had that struggle, but now it's better. So I'll tell you, you're not alone in this. There are times you have a million and one things to do. Don't feel bad when you actually have to take a pause. You understand? And what I've known about this thing is, if you don't give yourself brain to actually take a pause, I'll just give you another example. That was like last week. We got a mail from the HR. One of our colleagues died. Immediately we got that mail, I quickly went on my Microsoft Teams. I went to check the guy's name, and I saw that He was 15 hours away. I took a screenshot to always remind myself, Shola, she has seen. This guy was working really, really late into that night. I don't know when he slept. I don't know if it was high blood pressure, because another thing I noticed is that a lot of people in the big four, managers, partners, they are having this thing called high BP. What causes it? Stress. You don't know how to manage your stress. You don't know when to pump that brake. Now, I know that there are a lot of things to do, but you also have to know when to pump that brake so you don't break down. I'll stop here.
Wow, thank you very much. Please, can you put your hands together? There's a lot to dish out, I believe, right? That is why women, I don't know, when you just get a mic like this, you just be dishing out wisdom. Wisdom. She said, give yourself what?
Brain.
Brain. You better tell that brother beside you. Give yourself brain. All right, sir, let's hear from you.
Praise God. My co-panelist, thanks for the introduction, and that was brilliant. My own perspective is I see burnout as that state where you're emotionally down from your work,
Okay.
probably because of lack of balance. Can you hear me better now? All right. Exhaustion from lack of balance from your work, and I will try to be as practical as possible too. 2019, I got a job as a mining engineer in a quarry somewhere in Kaduna. And we were producing about 100,000 tons of aggregate per month. I was leading the team. We're producing for Julius Berger, constructing Kaduna to Kano Express. I work about 12 hours a day. It's so crazy that I was probably weighing about 65 kg after my NYC, and in 3 months I was probably weighing 50 kg because I don't eat. Wake up 5 o'clock, you're on the road going to work, accidents on the road. So it's a combination of emotionally stressed, and I think what made it worse then was there was language barrier. My quarry manager is Turkish. Every other person below me they are Hausa, so they can't speak English. My top manager cannot speak English properly. So you're emotionally stressed, you can't communicate properly. Probably you need to write on a paper, you are trying to give instructions, everybody's just like, what's the engineer saying? So it's that stage where you're not putting in the balance, and you just have all sorts of accumulated stress from different, it's not just the work, from family, from friends, from association, and other things. Thank you.
Wow, thank you very much. Can we please put our hands together for them? I believe if you look at all the feedbacks and the introduction that our panelists have given, they've given us insight into the fact that when you talk about burnout, in summary, it is that kind of exhaustion that derails your progress and your well-being. In summary. So you get to that point, you get so exhausted that even the progress that you intend to achieve is no longer achievable. And then your well-being is now affected. So, sir, she asked the question. I want to put a question across, and I think I would want to start from you. Looking at the fact that you already mentioned something into it, I love your practicality, and I want each and every one of you to please continue in that line of being practical so that it becomes more relatable for our audience. So, what would you say are possible causes of burnout? Like, what causes it? What leads to burnout? So you've given us insight into it. And while speaking, you already mentioned that for you, one of the triggers for the emotional stress or burnout was language barrier. So I want you to delve deeper into it. What are other causes? What are other things that professionals here might encounter that might possibly trigger or cause burnout?
All right. So back then I was a junior mining engineer. So I'm under so much stress to deliver to my principals, who are more focused on the financial part. Because if I don't produce 100,000 tons of aggregate a month, there is no money in the company to work. So number one for me was the fact that I'm under so much pressure to deliver high quality performance to my principals. And including that, I was unable to put a work balance into it. Young, maybe probably 24, 23, 24. I just want to satisfy everybody around me. And I think that is one of the reasons why we are burnout. You are unable to just set that boundaries. For me, I was unable to set boundaries between my work and my life. Monday to Saturday, I'm at work 6 a.m. to 7 p.m. So that inability to place that lack of balance was for me one of the possible causes of burnout. And I think another, for us, we're in Lagos now. I think another reason why we have burnout is that inability to prioritize yourself. You know, some people may call it selfishness, they may call it anything, but I think that inability to prioritize yourself will also lead to burnout. Thank you.
All right, thank you very much. Please put your hands together for some of these feedbacks. I mean, the inability to prioritize yourself is a major cause of burnout. But Pastor Chinedu, sir, I'm sorry, we'll come back to you. You said you were bleeding from the nose. Sir, afterwards, like after you, what were the things? I mean, what were the things that you identified to be one of the major cause of, maybe before it resulted to that well-being challenge, the cause of that particular challenge of burnout that you suffered?
Okay, thank you. Okay, I would like to mention my co-panelists here. I equally suffered a burnout when I was preparing for my wedding. And my panelist here, her father was the one that joined me. I can still remember. The wedding was almost cancelled. Okay, that was January 2012. During this January 2012, something happened then. Who can remember what happened 2012 January? Subsidy, yes. It was quite crazy. The kind of support that we ordinarily have here, I never had it then. The support was not there. I was juggling a lot of things at the same time. In fact, if you see my wedding pics, well, you thank God for my wife, for what I am today. You give glory to her. Okay. So basically, the question is what causes
burnout.
Burnout. For me, it was because then what happened to me, I was loaded with much work. But I was overloaded. Let me say it. I was overloaded and I knew it. And at times the challenge is when you are good and you exhibit it that you are good, you can't behave like others. You always want to deliver. You get more assignments. And it puts pressure, serious pressure on you. And especially when you work in a fast-paced environment, it's always a challenge. And by extension, I'm talking to Pastor Kumuyi here. He should take care of himself.
Please put your hands together for that recommendation.
Okay. By extension,
I believe he's listening.
I'm also by extension talking to lawyers. I know they are changing already. They are embracing this work-life balance, flexible work environments. And to doctors too, I know that they equally face that. So for me, it was because I was very much overloaded with work, with this expectation to deliver, within a crazy deadline. And then I would do it because I don't want anything to rub on, the way I'm perceived in the organization. So I've been doing it, but I was suffering and my home was equally suffering too. At times my wife would complain, what's happening? I'm not getting enough attention. I get home, and this may be practical, I get home, and the next thing maybe we are discussing, I'm already dozing off. Yes, in the sitting room, I'm already dozing off. Or once in a while, I'm being practical here, please. For those who cannot take it, just close your ears. Once in a while, we are in the bedroom and we are ready for action. And I doze off. Yes. This is me being realistic. Yes, I doze off. And then I wake up in the midnight and I'm asking what happened. I'm asking what happened. And you doze off now. I'll stop at that.
All right. Thank you so much, sir. Please, can we give a round of applause for our panel members? All right, please, this is just to remind us that there's opportunity for us to ask questions. So please, if you want to ask a question, let's just see your hand so we can take notes. Okay, so we'll just give a number.
Can we please stand?
Okay. Okay, please come. Okay, there's someone behind me. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay, I hope we are able to take everyone.
Someone behind you.
I'm giving you a number. Yeah, so we have eight people. Okay, please can I have yours? Okay, 9. All right. I hope we'll be able to take everyone. But all right, so we have 9 people. But before we start with the people on site, we know we had dropped a link earlier. So we have some questions. So we'll just start with you, ma'am. So in a situation where as a Christian, we're talking as Christian professionals now, in a situation whereby your line manager is asking you to do things that are against your belief, how do you handle that so that it doesn't lead to a burnout?
All right, thank you for that. My response to that would be on defining your belief system. What exactly is your belief system? So once you have defined that, then you can now know how to respond. I'm sorry to say this, but I want to be also be practical, right? So there are some, in quote and unquote, some deeper life members or sisters, in case they think it's a sin to shake a brother, talk less, or even maybe a side hug. And you are in a professional environment, you're in a corporate setting, and you're going to meetings, and then it's just courtesy. Oh, hello, sister, how are you doing? Or hello, ma'am, or whatever it is they call you, and then or you have to do a little side hug. And then to them, that one is against their belief system. So my first response to that is define your belief system. Is it in alignment with the word of God? So once you have confirmed that yes, this one is totally against, for example, so your boss is asking you to lie or to steal, then I'll answer practically. There was a time, one thing I'll say is always stand your ground. Let people know who you are. Let your light so shine. There are some things they will not ask you to do if before then you have been shining your light as a Christian, right? So, and I remember a place I worked before Deloitte. I would always shone my light, and I already got a tag as Mary, or maybe mother of God, or sister, or mommy G, or something. It's not like you're wearing something that's not corporate or anything, but because of the way you don't join them to do this, you don't join them to do that. So I'd already established that this is who I was, and this is the way I was going to be living in that setting. So I remember the time when in a client's office, and then this I think it was the CFO that called and was like, "Is your manager there?" And before then, I'd established the fact that I don't lie, sir. So there are some things you will not ask me to do, and I will do, right? So when he asked, the person was right beside me, like, I'm not around. I'm not around. That day, I had to just make a stand, or take a stand, and I said, I think I dropped the call. I didn't have to say yes. I didn't have to say no. The person had to call back, and he had to pick. Because before then, I had established that this is who I was and this is my stand. So there are some things that they would not even ask you. If before then you had stood your ground as a Christian, you had shown your light as a Christian, and everybody knew that this is who you are. So yeah, so
All right, thank you so much. So the first one is to what? Define your belief system. Once you have a belief system, it makes it very easy for you to know what you want to do and what you cannot do. And just like she said, we need to also ensure that we are putting in balance when it comes to work. There are some things that are not seen, yes, but you might have to do because you are in a professional space. So I hope that question was successfully answered. All right, so we'll just take number 1.
Can we get mic, please?
Thank you very much. Good morning, church. Yes, so for me, I think there's a common saying that the reward for good work. I don't know why it's not money, but then we'll talk about that later. And this is directly relating to the topic of today, for high-performing professionals. For me, I also find myself in this space whereby because you have this touch of excellence on anything you do, there's a tendency of you being loaded with extra work, even covering up for some people's inefficiencies. And that happens in my workspace whereby you don't address the issue of someone's inefficiency, but then you use somebody who is high performing to cover up those excesses. And then you tend to do so much. So maybe to you, Shola, right? I want to understand how exactly do you manage cases like this whereby you know that this is not your job, you know this person is not doing his job, but then just because you're also meant to meet business objectives, you are loaded with those KPIs. You still have to deliver because you cannot fall short of being excellent, right? So how exactly do you manage cases like this, whereby you delivered on your deliverables? It's not money that is given to you, but more work. So how do you deal with such scenario?
All right. I'll start with this Bible verse. I think that's Proverbs 22, verse 29. It said, "Seeth a man diligent in his business, he shall stand before kings and not before men." I know you're trying to find the link, but I'll explain. So there are times when you're in a workspace. I also have that. I experience that. And you feel because you're hardworking, you're always having that touch of excellence. Everybody's wanting to, put more work, more work. But I can tell you that one day, when it comes to the table, there are some people that they cannot let go of, even if they are having crisis in quotes in that company. You would stand out. Don't think. See, let me tell you something. Everybody's watching. You may think that you're having to do more work because you're trying to cover up for this inefficiency, but your line manager is watching, is observing, is seeing the way your attitude to work. Your partner, I don't know what it is, but as you can say, your partner is also watching, and you're seeing your attitude to work. When it comes to the table, you would not be able to be let go. And you're going to be given so much value because you're going to have whatever it is you learn now, it's yours. Whatever it is you're able to, capacity you're able to build, it is yours. And then another thing I want to say, you need to know where to also draw the line. There was a time I was working and working and working. That day, because I already said it, I'm a workaholic. I started feeling some. I was feeling feverish. I wasn't feeling my body. I had to go downstairs. That night I landed in the hospital. I had to take 2 injections, right? So that is me now saying I need to know where to draw the line. There are sometimes you have to say no. But I also want to debunk that thing of everybody saying that I want a soft life. I want a soft life without you actually putting in the hard work. You have to pay the price to win the prize. Everybody's interested in people doing well, people, having made it in life, but you've not asked them this glory. Have you asked them the story behind it? So what I will tell you is that don't give up. Keep pushing. Keep pushing. Keep building capacity. Keep building value. But know when to say no. Know when to draw the line. Prioritize. For example, there are times I may also have that a lot of responsibility. I have to speak with my manager. Okay, so what will you want me to do now? You have said I should do A, B, C, D, E. You're bringing Z. You're bringing other things to do. What would you want me to do? Which one would you want me to prioritize? They are urgent and important. They are important, not urgent. Urgent, not important, and not important, not urgent. So you have to know how to prioritize this task in order of importance and then tick your box accordingly. But still, don't do it at the expense of your own health. Like I said, that my colleague that died, that work he was doing, somebody else has taken it over. In fact, there was another one I had before I joined Deloitte. This guy, that was over the weekend. I think it was a Friday, he had a party. And he drowned. That morning, next month was Monday morning, when we came to the office and they shared news. Oh, yeah. Before you know what's happened, you could say Jack. FS, this, that. I'm like, for a guy that would have given his life just to make sure that this company is working so well and we are hitting all the goals and we are smashing all the goals. So I will tell you, keep doing what you're doing, but also know where to draw the line. Know when to say no. And I'll tell you, you will stand before kings. I'm not before me.
Can we please put our hands together for our our panelists? Know when to say, Pastor Chinedu mentioned earlier that he was being overloaded. And truly, when you have that touch of excellence, it tends to attract more work. And like it has been highlighted, he even mentioned it earlier, that it is a lack of priority for ourselves that tend to give room for burnout. So when the work is overloading, we should say, well, give ourselves brain now. And then say, okay now. All right, although we have some questions that have been dropped since yesterday. So I think we'll just take one, just to close out, since they went ahead to give it online and before giving other people opportunity to ask. So we want a balance. Someone wants to know, is there a contrast, is there a similarity between burnout and mental health? Like, are they the same? Or they are different? So what's the relationship? I think I would want you to start with that, sir.
Yes, so burnout is closely related to mental health. They are together. So if you have a mental health problem, probably it's going to lead to burnout. you're expressing depression as a result of something else, that depression is going to seep into your work, and you're going to, experience burnout. So they are closely. When I was working in I used to call it a crazy place. Sorry, we're in church. It was so crazy that the people I was working with did not even care about my health as a person. So you can imagine you were weighing 65 kg, and in 3 months you are weighing 50 kg. Nobody ever asked you, hey, what's happening to you? So I'll go to church on Sundays. That is the only day I have. And my friends will be like, hey, are you good? Like, yeah, I'm good, man, I'm good. Hey, are you good? I'm very good. But I think after 4 months, I just like, nah, I'm having mental health issues. I don't talk to people. I'm withdrawing from people just because I'm being pressured at work. I'm unable to work in a very good atmosphere. So they are closely related, and both should be managed.
Thank you very much. So they are closely related, and one way out is seek help, maximize.
I will not want to say any other thing. I think he has covered the field. But just to say that, it's one of the manifestations of burnouts, but not necessarily. You can experience mental health issues, but not due to burnouts. It's just like you have symptoms of malaria, and then you have, you're having maybe headache is part of it. You could be having other, health issues that are not necessarily malaria, but you're having headache. So the same way, mental health issues can, happen when you experience burnouts, so that you don't see somebody who is depressed or who is, having emotional breakdown, and then you just conclude, this is burnout, it's burnout. No, that's just what I just have to say on that. Thank you.
All right, thank you very much, sir.
All right, thank you so much. Panel members, please, let's keep our answers short so that we can take as much questions as possible. All right, so we'll quickly take number 2. We also have our online on there, so we'll need to interswitch at some point.
Good morning, sirs. Good morning, George. So I quickly want to ask, I was listening to Elon Musk, and he said something. He said you have to put in about 100 hours of work per week to be among the top 1%. I was also listening to Jim Rohn. He said it's not the amount of hours that you put. I mean, it's not the amount of hours, but the amount of work that you actually put into the hours, right? So it got a bit confusing, and I was like, okay, 100 hours, that's like 10 to 14 hours per day. And Jim Rohn said it's not the amount of hours, it's the amount of work that you put into the hours. So, and I find out that most people, they say, I'm busy, I'm busy, I'm busy. What are you busy doing exactly? Right? Because for me, as a person, most times I work remotely. I can wake up around 9, but finish at 9 p.m. But to be honest, I didn't work 9 to 9. There was a time I took a break. So the question now is, what is the amount of hour that we consider reasonable to work per day? Because there are some days you are just off. And there are days maybe I didn't go to the office. I start working maybe around 5 p.m. and maybe work till maybe 3 a.m. and all that. So what's the reasonable amount of hours to actually put into work? And what is the amount of hours that we consider, bad for work?
Okay, maybe I'll take that, and I will answer, with 2 expressions, and I will not explain. Okay, know yourself, run your race. That's all. I won't say more than that. Know yourself and run your race. You are not in competition with anybody. Just know yourself, run your race. That's all.
Thank you so much, sir.
Our media people,
Okay,
I
can we
hope they are
have
not
the
experiencing
online?
burnouts. They are not available here.
Okay. While we are waiting for the online question, number 3.
Sorry, get another mic. No, you can't take the mic of the moderator, please. I'm sorry.
I just want to add something to what Pastor Chile just said. I think we should also understand that some of these people giving us 100 hours of work per week, they also live on drugs. So you can't live on drugs. You are just a normal human being. So if somebody is using drugs to do 100 hours of work, just to support what Pastor said, know yourself. So you don't, since you don't know him, I think we should just stay with what is reasonable for you, so you don't, waste your life trying to please somebody else.
All right, thank you for that addition, sir. All right, let's have you, ma'am.
Yeah, good morning, panelists. Yes. So my question is around let's say, for example, you're like a subordinate at work, and then you have somebody that you need to answer to, and then this person writes, I've taken time to study this person, and the person is sort of like a nerd, right? Always working, doesn't even have like empathy for his other colleagues. And I can be working on something, and one thing about me is that I tend to not like I waste time, I don't waste time, I just want to like give it my best, I want to complete it, I want to cross-check it. And then he comes again, are you done with this? Are you working on that? This is the next thing to work on. And then in my head, I'm like, I'm working on something currently, I'm trying to execute this task. And it has happened like every time. So I want like advice, in a bit to not want to sound rude, in a bit to not want to sound harsh, right? But then you want to take your place, you want to say your mind. How best can you advise that, a person says, her mind to that boss, that kind of thing? Yes, thank you very much.
Okay, thank you. I think we should have Shola answer that. Because she's been speaking to that area before now, so.
All right. So what I would say is you have to look inwards and be sure that you are actually giving your best, right? And I understand, because coming from a perfectionist point of view, when you're done with something, you want to be sure that you have dotted the I's, you have crossed the T's. You want to be sure that everything is spick and span before you send it over. But at the same time, you have to also study the person you're working with. If the person you're working with is someone that loves deliverables, being turned in on time, you may also have to look inwards and see how to adjust so that you can also finish up. I'm not saying you should reduce your quality, right, of your work, but timing is also, because we're currently working in a fast-paced space, right? It's very fast-paced. So you can't be seen as lagging, in quotes. So what I would tell you is that I love the fact that you want to cross-check, you want personal review, but at the same time, you have to learn your boss. Because if you don't learn your boss, that person is basically going to speak about you on the career roundtable. And if he's saying you are not performing, you are not performing. Even if in your mind you have given you are giving 101% on that particular task. So what I will tell you is that take a tour inwards. Ask yourself questions, really honest, sincere questions. Am I doing the best I can? Have I actually taken out time to see if there's something I can do? Maybe reducing time here, seeing how to, multitask. Because as you grow the ladder, you will have to learn the skill of multitasking. That is something, I will not lie to you, you have to learn it. Because you have 1,000,001 things on your plate that you have to attend to. So you are doing well. I think you should give yourself kudos for that you want to be excellent in everything you do. But at the same time, look inwards and see where you need to speed up at some point, reduce time. Maybe we have wasted time on some other things that are not so pressing. Prioritize your tasks accordingly. Urgent, important, not urgent, and the likes. And then manage your boss. He will speak about you on that table, and you can't be seen as lagging. May the Lord give us understanding.
Amen. I think they said online audience are ready now. So can we just take one from online?
Okay. Am I audible?
Yes, you are.
Yes, you are. Oh, okay. Okay, I have a question. Mine is actually a question. So, like when people talked about burnouts, uh, for me, I can't really relate to it. So I don't know the kind of person I am for my own part. Because even from my where I worked before I moved, located out of the country, I worked for about, let me say, 10 years. And I've never for once called the office to say, sorry, I'm breaking down. I think I need 1 or 2 days off. Even the days I will call that, I'm not feeling too strong. They will just tell me, yes, you just want to relax. It's not as if you're broke down. We know you. So I've worked that I don't even know when I'm burned out or maybe when I'm stressed. Even at current place that I am now, when I finish working from 8 to 5, and my other colleague there where I am saying that we want to enter cab with their brain. I'm like, why that entering cab? Why not let's just check it, let's just work down, it's just like 40 minutes work. And they were like, bros, we work 8 to 5, and you're asking us to work 40 minutes work. How? Everybody cannot be like you. And I'm asking myself, when people talk about burnouts, is it that I've gotten used to the fact that I stayed in Lagos for long and stress and everything has gotten to me? Or is it that I'm just the kind of person separately? Because when people talk about burnout, I can't really relate when I can't even say this is the time I've had the burnout that I didn't go to office for 2 days because I got once once I feel that probably I want to sleep, I don't even know if I'm even so maybe because I'm the type of person that I rather go to gym or have a time out in gym. But I can't really relate to when we talk about burnout. What do you think that kind of person? How can you describe that kind of person situation? Because firstly, I don't know what burnout is called. Seriously, in the last
Okay.
13, 14 days that I've been working, I can't really relate.
All right, thank you
Please,
so
I
much,
just
brother.
want to know.
Kolachi, it's difficult to relate with him also. I can't relate with him also because it's a special breed. And the truth of the matter is we have people that are special breed. Can be exception to the general rule. But I know Kolachi is high on physical exercises. He does it regularly. And it could be a factor that's actually been helping him. It's one of the ways out, from managing burnout, from making sure that you are not experiencing burnout. Take time out to exercise regularly. And I know he does that. It takes workouts. So it could be that that is actually the thing giving him that extra energy. But at the same time, the fact that you are not experiencing it now does not mean that you should not take care of yourself. Self-care is important. Manage yourself now so that you not manage yourself when you are 50 or you are 60. The accumulated stress, you cannot be too sure. You may not be experiencing some of these things now. Some experience it when they are 50, when they are 60. Why? Because they have not taken good care of yourself. The fact that you are not experiencing it now, Kolachi, does not mean that you should not take out time to take care of yourself. Take regular break. Once in a while, in between work, take some time out to rest. Take time for workouts. Continue your regular exercises. Go on leave regularly, so that you'll be able to manage yourself when you are old, not the fact that you are young now and you are just happy. And mind you are not even married yet. You are not married. You are still very much single, so you get there.
All right.
All
I
right,
think I have
guys.
something to add to what Pastor said. So for Kolachi, in the Bible, in Genesis, God told us that 6 days is for work, and the 7 days for what? Is for rest. I think God knows more than us, so I think we should just align with what the scripture says. Thank you.
Thank you so much. All right, so let's just take number 4.
Good morning, church. Good morning, church. So I'm going to be very straightforward. So let's assume a company that runs on sprints. So as a backend engineer, okay, can you hear me now? So let's assume a company that runs on sprint. So you have an estimated period of time for work. Now, due to some unforeseen circumstances and all,
Sorry, can you take the question again?
okay, my question.
Maybe we should give him the other mic.
Okay, thank you very much. So my question is that some company runs on sprint. That's an estimated time for an amount of work to be done. And due to unclear user stories and things that were not covered, we end up doing more work than necessary. So for someone that you have to put in the extra hours every time, and then if you fall to put in the extra hour, you end up having rollback, because if you fail the sprint, there's a rollback, and everybody in the team is going to face the consequence. Now, you don't want to come up as someone making everybody to fall, like to fail their sprint. And at the same time, you are burning out on your personal hours. So how do you mitigate that pressure? Because either way, you are going to be burned out.
All right, thank you. I think we're already getting to the point where we want to start addressing how to avoid, which is the crux of our topic today. So I think, Brian, you can start by opening that.
Yeah, if I hear him very well, I think you work in a team. So if you work in a team, I think it's important that you have a discussion. You know, there's something we call, our old days economics, division of labor. So everybody have their own strength in certain things. For me, I'm not good in numbers, but I'm good in writing documents. Currently, I work as a consultant. I work in a consulting firm, so I'm good in putting documents together. So I don't bother myself with the numbers. I give the numbers out, then I deal with my documents. So I think that if you work in a team, I think it's going to make sense that you delegate. Maybe you're not the team lead, but divide. Because if you are burning out, most likely every other person in the team is burning out. So I think it's going to make sense if you can divide the work amongst yourself at that particular time, so you guys can complete it. And nobody is burnt out at the end. That would be my own 1 cent to that.
All right. Thank you.
Okay, I don't know if that brother is a tech guy, because he's sounding, techie, like all these projects. So maybe we can get one of these tech professionals to Bro Manuel. Yeah.
Okay, so I think the problem is the user story is not clear. So you have to discuss with your product manager. Yeah. So that's where the problem is, the user story. So you have to discuss with your product manager. You guys have to, before you start any print, you guys have to discuss through that user story.
Right. All right. I hope that helps. Okay, thank you very much. Although the answer that Brian Midi gave already answers to each and every one of us, but just to contextualize it, because I thought he was speaking to product management, and we got a straightforward answer. So we can take the next question.
All right. Number 5.
Yeah, good morning, Judge. You all are speaking on employees' point of view. Take on, for instance, I've never worked for anyone in my life.
You have never
worked for anyone in my life? Yeah, I've never. So, I've been working in my own since university. I own a fashion firm since 2017 while I was in 411 University. So, as you were speaking, I can't relate to it. Because as a business owner, our burnout is different from the way you guys talk about it. So, yeah, I want to ask, as a business owner, where do you strike your balance? Like, I started very small in 2017, but now we're like big now in Seoul.
Glory to God.
Yeah, so we're into men's outfit, menswear, shoe, kaftans, suits, and all. So
so that's marketing, you see.
So as I was saying, I decided to organize a team for myself last year. That was October, during our first official launch. So I have a team of 6. So everyone has their own work to do. But I'm just kind of person. I like things done my way. If I'm not present, I won't feel okay with what you're doing. So I'll be like, this is not done rightly. Like she said, I love things done orderly. So recently I've been like everywhere. We make suits ourselves. We make clothing and shoes ourselves. I'm wearing everything like this now. So I'll be at the tailoring workshop, monitoring them. Have you done that? Have you done that? Have you done this? They'll be like, no, no, no. I'll be done to go to the machine myself and do what needs to be done. I'll go to the shoe workshop. Is this done? This is done. This is done. You'll be like, no, no. Listen up. I'll assist them in it. I'll go to meet my front desk. Have you done this? You said no. I'll be like, why is that? So I'll be really depressed. And someone here was saying something about our boss coming to her. Have you done that? It's not really the boss's fault. We have a target in mind, and we run millions of transactions in a month. So I pressure my staffs, but they don't give enough. So I have to be the one doing it myself. I barely sleep 4 hours a day. Sometimes if I barely do that because I'll be on my phone, handling customers and all that. So what do I do in that situation? Because I've gotten used to it already. Sometimes in the midnight around 2 a.m. I'll decide to work out because I'm stressed. So that's how I deal about it. I play video games. So and again, one of my staffs that needs to be doing, understand, needs to do what I asked her to do, and she's not doing correctly. I'm about to fire her this week because they're not delivering what I want. But she has that customer relationship. She knows how to keep the customer. But these days, every other is online. So you need to flow along with it. So I want to ask, how do I deal with that? Thank you.
Okay, I think Sister Shola is already
Looking at
holding
me,
mic.
so it's my question. Right?
Please just keep the answers short. We're running out of
Yeah.
time.
Thank you for the question. So first thing I'm going to tell you is that you have to set clear expectations. It's not like I think or I'm not sure. They have to understand what they are meant to do. And for you to have employed people, I want to believe that you have taken out time to review their skill sets, their capabilities and abilities, and you're comfortable with what they are able to deliver. I think I picked, I'm not sure, you actually trying to micromanage. Because one thing I'm not very comfortable with is micromanaging people. If you have employed them to do something, trust that they will deliver. Give them that space. You are the CEO of your organization, but that is why you have also put people to also help you run day-to-day things. Stand from a distance and watch them do their work. So it's when you have given them time to prove themselves and they are still lagging behind, then you can come in and say, why I've given you this time, that time to do this. We have set clear expectation. Everybody understands their deliverables and you're still not meeting up. But if you have not done that and you are still breathing down their necks, I will get frustrated myself. Because I feel you have not even given me time to prove myself. I get you. You are a perfectionist. You want to dot every I's. You want to cross every T's. But you also have to know where to draw the line. Let them do their work. You have trusted them to deliver. Let them deliver. And when you see that they are still not meeting up, then you can do what you need to do. And then also, you are trying to say, from the employer's point of view, we live in Lagos, and I feel Lagos is a very stressful place to stay in. And one of the things that also add to your stress level, imagine you're working on the island, let's say VI, and you're living in Ikorodu. Your time of commuting from Ikorodu alone to the island is enough to make anyone stressed. I heard about the story of somebody, right? He was commuting from Ikorodu, I think it was Ikorodu or Ota, Songota, and he works on the island, right? There was a day, this man, I think he got home by past, 2 a.m., and he has to wake up 4 a.m. every day to leave the house so he can meet up. He's an employee, right? But I think you can also learn from the story. He has to meet up with like maybe 7 a.m. or 8 a.m. in the office. He almost got into a very ghastly accident. He was only saved by grace. He was sleeping on the road. It was those that were on the road that, sir, because the way he was already driving like somebody that was gone. That's even one that was helped. There was another one. I don't know if you guys have heard about the story. Okay. Traffic light stop, and then he put their head on the steering, and then green. The guy is not moving. He's dead because he's stressed. Accumulated stress can actually make us lose our lives if we are not careful. So you need to know when to pump the brakes so you don't break down.
All right.
Thank you very much. Can we please put our hands together?
Okay. I'll just add a comment and I'll be brief, 30 seconds. Please, my brother, build your business around a structure that is workable and can stand the test of time, even when you are not there. If you are here to build your business to that point that you always need to be around for things to be get done, then reevaluate that structure. You build your business to the level that even when you are not around, that business is moving autopilot. That's my model. Build a structure that can work even when you are not there. You are not there for a day, you are not there for a week. The business is still moving on. But you are doing a very good job. Well done, bro.
All right, thank you so much. Please, can we have number 6 and 7? We're going to take the questions together because we are really running out of time. Please, let's keep our questions very short. Just straight to the point.
Thank you very much. Good morning. My question is directed to you. As a young, ambitious woman, that is multi-talented and is also working in a fast-paced environment, what is your advice to her to be balanced? Take, for instance, you are working in an organization where you don't have a leader. Because you are intelligent, they believe you can do it. So they put a lot of workloads on you. At the same time, you have other things in mind that you want to do as a young visionary. Oh, I want to be this kind of woman. This is the kind of person I want to be. So you are trying to balance work. You are trying to balance yourself, your passion, your zeal. How do you balance everything together?
Thank you. Number 7.
Okay, well, if there is
Maybe we'll just take all
conflict,
the questions together. I think we have just 3 more people. Then the panelists can
morning,
just
Church.
summarize.
I'm Emmanuel Kamuni by name. And my question is that how can we prevent ourselves from experiencing burnout when you are working in an organization that you are the breadwinner of that organization, to the point that even when you are sick, they still come to the hospital and ask you and say, "Bet that, please, how can we solve this issue? Please, what can we do about it? We cannot lie,
Okay,
right?"
okay. All right. So let's
Thank
take
you very much.
the next question.
Praise the Lord. All right, for away from work, all right, I wanted to ask, as a Christian professional, can you get burnout from church activities? All right, because I don't know, you want to give your best to the Lord, but the activities are much. And at some point, you don't even know what to do anymore. So can you get stressed through church activities? And how can you manage that while you want to serve the Lord faithfully? Thank you.
Praise the Lord. My question is on delegation of tasks. Okay, I work in a place where I have people that actually work under me, right? So I tend to delegate, like, okay, you have this task to work on this week, you have this task to work on this week. So when I go to supervise, like, check, okay, what have you worked on and all that, I tend to see 1 or 2 errors, like attention to details, like, okay, I'll talk about it, please work on this thing. Now you have a task. You have 5, let's assume you have 5 outfits to work on. Inside that 5, 3 is having issue, and we are moving it until in next week. And this next week, you still have another task because we have a target to meet. If not, there will be delays and all that in delivery. Now, as a staff, you're already feeling burnout from your emotions and all that. Like, I'm working on this thing, and I still have previous stuff to work on, right? And these things are little things that you can avoid. So you're feeling burnout. And me, on the other hand, I'm also feeling burnout. Like, is this task too much for this person? Why is this person not delivering? This person is good to do this job. Sometimes I even try to tell them, oh, you are good. If you are not good, you will not be here. So just do this thing. Okay, I have clients that are giving me feedback. Like, I tend to get the feedback.
Please, can we go straight to the question? We're actually running.
Sorry. And the feedback is tends to be heavy on me. So going back to like talk, like, oh, this. And you find out that everybody is burnt out. You that you're working on your tasks, you're feeling burnt out because you're not meeting up to standard. And me that I'm also giving you the feedback that I've received. I'm also feeling burnt out. How do we handle situations like this?
Okay, all right. So,
We are sorry.
I'm so sorry.
We will not be able to take everybody because we are already out of time. And we just want our panelists to use their closing remark to answer all these questions that have been asked. We sincerely apologize.
We're number 9. Oh, in 10 seconds, what's your question?
So actually, you're on a new career path, and you're expected to learn on the job as you're working, and you have a boss that actually wants you to learn like everything at once. What you should know in 2 years, he wants you to know it in 1 month. How do you undo that?
So we'll start with you, sir.
It's more or less like your closing remark.
Yeah.
So please, sir.
Okay, so for the sister that asked about how to manage the activities in the church, do I experience burnout? Yes, I do. Do I talk about it? Yes, I talk about it to my wife. Do I talk about it to my leaders? Yes, I talk about it to some of my leaders, to Pastor Pius. I share with some other persons. What do? I take out some time to rest. I take out break. There have been times there was time I went to Landmark Beach, and I just went there under the waters, just looking up to the sky, and I was taking some time to rest. Yes, I have to take care of myself, really. I'm already thinking of having a physiotherapy session. I was working with a physiotherapist here because I need a massage session. No, yes. And then one of the things I equally do is I usually have a nice session with my wife in the other room. It helps me too. Yeah. So, and then PT has advised the squad.
Please let's maintain decorum so that we can get the
too many
feedback.
groups. You are in 3 groups, 4 groups. Why not belong to 1 or 2? And you can give enough time to, rather than belonging to 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. You are in prayer, you are in global harvesters, you are in this, you are in this. No. You have enough people who can talk. Thank you.
All right, thank you very much, sir. All right, Ma, the question on balance as a young woman.
All right. So what I would say is, number 1, you also have to take it all inwards, right?
We can't hear you.
Sorry? Can you hear me? All right. So what I will say to that is, the moment you have to take it all inwards, you have to set out goals for your life, because you've been working for an organization. We are there because that organization, that's a goal you are. You also have to set out goals for your own self, right? And learn how to type. You can be excellent and still take care of yourself. Do not do things at the expense of your own health. Not do things at the expense of your own purpose. So define your purpose, define your goals, and try to align them. I know we've been talking about burnouts, right? But also another thing I want to say is, you cannot have burnout if you are not hardworking. Because I noticed that a lot of young people, they just want to enjoy this soft life. Please also learn to be hardworking, to pay the price. Don't just follow the whole trend. I'm born, I'm tired, mental health and everything. It's good to have a good mental health, but at the same time, please be hardworking. If you're hardworking, you will stand before kings. And if you don't do what you need to do, you will not build capacity, and you will not help you to stand your ground, be able to dish out, value per time. When you're speaking, you should speak from a wealth of knowledge. When you're speaking, you should speak from a fountain of knowledge. Thank you.
All right, thank you very much. Let's have Brian.
All right, so I'll just answer my brother. I think what you need to do is to grow other people in your company. On my wedding day, on my engagement day, I was still working. I was sitting with my wife and I was still typing, trying to save a transaction. I think what you can do is to delegate tasks to, just build them and allow them to grow. I think with that, you are not going to, you'll be able to manage our burnout and other issues. Thank you.
All right, thank you so much, panel members. I believe we've all learned 1 or 2 things. So we are so sorry, we cannot take other questions, but we're going to create a time later in the week, either on Tuesday or Friday, where we're going to address other questions on the group. And I think with this, we have come to the end of this session. I hope we all had an interesting time. Thank you once again to our panel members. We'll also take our online questions on the group. Thank you.
Okay, of course, if you still have any concerns, we have the Faith Recovery Center. You can please reach out to them. The chairman of the board is here for FRC. And, other members, Sister Pelumi, Bro Desmond, you can engage them, Sister Chi. So if you have any concerns, you can still reach out to them. I believe our panelists have done justice to the subject matter of burnout. And now, as believers, as Christians, we can still remain top performers, but yet avoiding burnout. Please, let's put our hands together for them. They did really, really well.